Hi everyone, it is the weekly wrap up here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. As many of you know, we are a 501c3 big cat sanctuary here located in Sandstone, Minnesota. I love having you join me every week to kind of tell you the updates of what's been going on and happening here, and appreciate it so much. Gonna wait for a few people to join. It is a really cloudy day here. We had severe weather come through early last night, but luckily missed us, but did down a big tree and all the power lines near the Bobcat intern house. So the interns have not had power last night or even today. So hopefully by the time they go home from work today, the power is back up. And then today's just been really gloomy and cloudy. I was hoping the crew day would be here to work on Catio Town, but I haven't seen anybody yet today, so I don't think they'll be coming. So I'll be checking in with the general contractor. But there has been some news. The crane was here, trusses have gone up, so you will see a post next week. You'll want to sign up for the e-news if you're not on our e-news, because we'll be sharing with our e-news members the update, and our founding members, those who really helped create matching funds for the Catio Town program, will get their update with photos and videos today. So definitely stay tuned for that for everybody. So would love to know who's out there watching the weekly wrap up today. Definitely put your comments in. Hello, it's nice to see you. Hello from Ohio, that's great. Jeannie, so nice to have you here as well. So I'm going to kind of start with some updates. As you guys know, it was my birthday fundraiser, and I wanted to raise money for Comfort Care, and you guys sure stepped up. Hi Maria, hi Emily from sunny Florida, and you guys really stepped up. I don't have the totals yet, but I want to thank you. I had so many nice birthday messages, so many nice gifts come in to help the cats in my honor for my birthday. Hi Rita and Arlene, nice to see you. And it just warms my heart. It was really fun to do the live post earlier this week with Shadow and Pandora and show you them. And I loved seeing the reels that the media team put up on Chili scratching his tree. Because I remember giving his presentation at the Big Cat Sanctuary Alliance. And a lot of the questions were, why didn't you choose to euthanize Chili every step of the way? And it was a really good question. It was by other sanctuary veterinarians. And I think in all reality, if any of us knew what the next stage was going to be for Chili, which was so dramatic, stage after stage, that we probably would have said goodbye to him if we knew the next stage. But luckily, today we didn't, and sometimes ignorance is bliss, and he is happy and healthy, and as much as Chili can be, with his physical therapy, enjoying his life. That doesn't mean that he's going to live a long life. We don't know how well that back leg is going to treat him for the remainder of his life, but we do know the quality of life he's had being reunited with his family, and being able to do the things he's doing is just astounding. I mean, we gave him the tools, and he's really just has a will to live and a will to be with his family. So that's super awesome. So somebody said, did you mean to end that when you did? It kind of just cut off. Oh, I'm thinking they're talking about Shadows and Pandora's live post. It shut off. The internet was coming in and out. So I didn't mean to shut it off as I did, but when our internet gets iffy, I do end the live posts. So some updates. So I know everybody's asked about Buddy. Buddy was the 22-year-old bobcat that you saw had a wellness exam, and he is doing great. So under his exam, it was very rare that we found that he had fleas, not a flea infestation, but fleas. And 25 years here at the sanctuary, I think we might have found one flea on a cat. And because they get preventative. He gets preventative worming too, but he had roundworms, and doesn't mean... We see that especially with a really rainy season, but he was getting preventative ivermectin, and so we don't know why that didn't help. So he got a shot to help with both of those, and he got topical flea treatment and tick treatment and everything like that. But otherwise, for a 22-year-old except with arthritis, he's good. He's back out in his yard and he's being buddy. So we're really excited. He did not have hyperthyroid, so the weight loss is probably just due to age. We've increased his diet again, but he's on about twice the amount of a normal bobcat and still losing weight. So, I mean, the reality is he is a 22-year-old cat. So right now he's going to get anything and everything he wants. So another update today is that we found that lovely Kimba is taking after Eurasian Lynx Beauty and killed a piece of wildlife in her enclosure. I will spare you the details in the news, but she decided she was a little bit of a hunter and decided to take her own meal for wildlife that got into her enclosure. We see that a lot with Beauty, but I've never seen it with Kimba. And then Winona. I know Winona's a really, hi Marcy's joined us, say hi to a few more, Daria, Tracy, hi Havoc, Faith, and Winona's doing so well. We are in such a different position than we were a week ago. She has moved to Wild Woodlands. She has 2 indoor rooms and she has an outdoor holding yard access. We've removed everything from that holding yard, so the only thing we're cautious of is on our really hot days that she's not spending too much time outside because there isn't a much shade or anything out there since we had to remove everything. And then based on it, she's still on her 3-course medication, assuming this is a neck or back injury, and she's up walking. She's almost back to perfectly walking normal, but if you've ever had a bad back, you know it doesn't take much to throw it back out. So Dr. Campbell wants her in her holding yard for another week, but she has graduated from not being have to be locked in at night, that she can have full access to the holding yard and her bedroom for the next week. And then we will move from there. If she's still improved or completely back to normal, we'll give her the whole yard. And then eventually we do want her to go back to Roar Ridge and bring Dash back around the youngins. But we're gonna just play that by ear based on Winona. And Dash, okay, I'm putting my human emotion on Dash. Geez, I would never do that. And that he's over in this big new yard. He's got both sides. He next to beautiful Pandora. He should love it. But I feel like maybe he's a little lonely because he's not near all the commotion of the young tigers. And everybody's spending so much time with him. He's got extra Supreme treats for me. He's got extra enrichment. He's got 2 pools. I know he's fine, but you know, it's that little, I want to spoil him more than I probably should, give him more commotion. So that's good. So there's an update you haven't heard yet except for sponsors. So I told you how stressful last week was, and we'll be peeling back the onion little by little because we had Winona. Of course, that was a big one. Another big comfort care thing is Max the Bengal. He is 20 years old. He's got chronic issues, meaning he has no teeth left in his mouth. He has chronic upper rest, always retreating it. And he's got a lot of muscle atrophy. And so him and Bengal Tiger, we know are at their end of their lovely, lovely lives, but they keep on going, and we love that about them. But on morning rounds, Rio called out, and this is right when we were dealing with Winona and deciding if she was going in for a CT. Rio said there's something wrong with Max. And Max, the Bengal, she said his leg, I believe his leg's broken, and she was correct. So we brought him in, and based on his age, we were trying to decide, are we going to sedate him and immobilize him for radiographs to find out what's going on? Luckily, he was amenable to radiographs while he was awake, because we don't want older cats with upper respiratory conditions down for a long period of time. But we found a severe, severe break all the way through his tibia. And to fix that, which we would do in a young animal, would be orthopedic surgery. And that would be plates, a lot of physical therapy, recovery, and most importantly, downtime where you would not want him to move and you'd want him to be in a crate by himself for a long period of time. Given Max's age, we, 1, didn't think he would make it through that, and 2, did not think that was the best quality of life decision for Max, because He's not a people cat. He's a cat, and to be just isolated at 20, not knowing how much longer he's going to live, going through really hard surgery to fix that, was not an option in our mind. Then we talked about casting it, but we'd have to sedate him over and over to recast as things healed, and that just, we knew that would be really hard for him. He's a small, like 7-pound cat. So euthanasia was on the table, and we all were talking about, is he strong enough to undergo the other option, euthanasia or a leg amputation? And a rear leg amputation might seem so invasive and so major, but honestly, for the animal, it is the easiest recovery time. They actually feel better waking up from amputation than they did going to sleep with a broken leg. There's very little recovery time. You don't have to keep them quiet except for healing the incision. And so we knew that Max might not make it through surgery at 20, but we thought it was worth giving him the best chance. And guess what? He did amazing, and he has been doing amazing. He had a very large incision. It was several hours. Elise was here. It was an emergency. Our vet tech was not on site, but Dr. Campbell was here. Elise was manually breathing through for him because of his chronic upper resp and issues he has. The phlegm was filling the intubation tube, unlike it was, and so it was blocking for him to breathe on his own why he was intubated. And so we were doing manual breathing for him, which is very stressful, but Elise did an excellent job. And he woke up, and he's been doing great. He is standing up on the one rear leg. They actually brought Tiger in the hospital and put a crate next to him for the few days he was here, so that he wasn't alone. And now Tiger and Max are over in our temporary housing Bengal area in the on-site trailer in a bedroom, so that they can spend time together while Max is healing. And I just never been prouder of our team for what they've been going through, because as we rolled out Winona and Max, there's other news to roll out, but again, we're in the thick of things, and we want to be able to know where we're headed. And so Max was really hard for the rest of the staff, is they're not knowing if Winona is going to make it or walk again. Then Max is out of left field, but the team did what the team does. They came together and did what was needed for those cats, and it's so wonderful when all those efforts pay off, and you have Winona healing, and you have Max doing extremely well. I mean, something else could take him. We're surprised his upper respiratory issues haven't taken him. But, that little guy has our hearts. And he's been actually very social to us. It might be the pain meds that he's deciding people are pretty awesome. So I'll keep you posted on that. But wanted to let you know on that. On top of it, we have good news for a few cats. Jameson and Hank, the two fosters living in here with me, as you guys know, Charcoal Hank, I wanted them to stay so bad. But we have to make the best decisions for the cats. And Tyler, our caretaker, decided to formally pull the trigger and adopt him. They went home 2 days ago, and I cried. But I know they have the best life with Tyler, and I know he is in love with them on his PM shifts. He was down here with them and everything else. And so sometimes the best thing we can do, just like with Benji and Sophia, is to let our feelings go and put the cats first. So that's what we did. So that's really happy for them. A little quiet in here. I've been asking Benny and Dahlia to spend some time with me. But to go back on one of the questions somebody asked, do we know how he broke his leg? We do not know. We assumed he just jumped off his perch, jumped down on something, was chasing, playing with one of the cats in there, and being his age, everything's fragile. He just landed it wrong or jumped off something. But there was no fighting or anything like that. It was a clean injury, so it definitely looked like just a trauma break. And then the new little gray stray, which everybody thinks should come into my office. I'll be telling you strategically, I'm not bringing her in my office because I cannot fall in love again. I mean, I even went home to my husband and was like, can we just take these two home? And poor Tyler, if I would have backed out on his adoption. But Kaylin, one of our other caretakers, would really like to adopt the stray gray, and she has named her Harper. And the reason we didn't stay with something with Homer in the name tradition-wise is because she is going to be leaving. Our caretaker is moving into an apartment, but not for a little bit, so they are going to foster her at the intern house that doesn't have a cat, because Love is at one intern house and the other intern house doesn't have a cat, until Kaylin can take her to her apartment. So those are win-wins for sure for those cats. So I wanted to give you the updates there. Also, the interesting thing is we also got calls for rescues. And I said, if I can get more BBBBB rescues, I've gotten more Bengal calls. We just can't. Cedar Hill, I've referred those to her, to them at Cedar Hill if they have space. The hardest thing is a lot of the owners don't want to do the work of transporting several states away, but they have to help halfway because we are just at capacity. I have 2 bobcats in need right now, so I'm reaching out to sanctuaries at the Big Cat Sanctuary Alliance that are closest to those bobcats to see if they have space. In the past, when I was in this position as rescue committee chair, I couldn't find placement for bobcats because that's one of our biggest calls we receive, and we absorbed so many here. The reality is we will always absorb what we can, and we have been asked to help, and we will do what we can. We just can't overload what our cats need here. And as you guys know, Cattail Creek is still being built. We are working on getting the last habitat up, but that last habitat just means we have space for every cat here. Once Catio Town opens up, it would open up more quarantine space. So we are going to do what we can without putting anybody here in a situation we don't want, or putting a new rescue in a situation we don't want. Like you said, we've been building as fast as possible. So I do know a lot of sanctuaries have space. The question is, do they have space for bobcats? Because many of them don't. They have open top enclosures for big cats available, and sometimes sanctuaries have a percentage of what small cats they'll take versus big cats and things like that. Everybody has their own way they choose what they can rescue, and we don't second guess it because they're all doing good work, but we just know we can't keep absorbing the bobcats. So everybody put out to the universe that we will absorb what we can here, and of course give them a quality of life home, and that those that we can't, that we will have other sanctuaries that can help and step up when they can. So appreciate that so much. And then, you know, some other things, my days have been extended because I am going to be doing a conference call with some folks in southern India, who really have a passion and have been wanting to help elephants in captivity in India, but also now they want to help big cats in captivity. And so we'll see where those conversations go, but always when we're working with people, we want to share back and forth, and we are really supportive of anybody that wants to step up and help more animals that are living lives in captivities, especially in some of these countries where we know the zoo system is not as advanced as ours here. So those are kind of my big pushes and things I've been doing here. The staff, like I said, has been amazingly just responsive to the cats' needs at every moment, and I know it's taking a toll on them. So I know you're sending your love to the staff too, and sometimes we just have to remind them that it's okay to be sad, it's okay to work through some of these issues, it's okay to be stressed, but taking care of themselves is just as important as taking care of the cats they love. And all of us can use that reminder in daily life, every person and everything. So thank you guys for being with me for this week's weekly wrap up. Thank you for making another birthday so very special for me and for the cats. And I will see you next week.